Enough of me, let's get back to this gorgeous view. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Welcome to the Black Pew.
Yes, he did.
That's Patreon. That's Patreon stuff right there.
All right.
Cameron gets lectured for an engagement.
My bad.
Today we're reviewing If Beale Street Could Talk. Did everybody watch it? Has
Yes.
everybody seen it?
Yes, we have.
Sort of.
Let's go.
It's always the two people with long hair.
What?
I like it. I love it. I love it.
I usually complete my assignment, but I kind of. I mean, okay, hold on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
First of all,
I'm gonna need you.
First of all, you feel me? Like the movie first, I had to make sure I renewed my Amazon to a premium account because you can't. But I mean, some of these movies y'all chose, you gotta have premium accounts.
He said some of these movies y'all chose.
Making me spend extra than what I already packed out. Hulu, Netflix.
Had to get a new
Paramount,
email address
Disney,
so you get a free
feel
trial.
me? I already got Amazon
Text message me
Prime.
back. I'm just
You
saying.
know what I'm
got
saying?
HBO Max? It's on HBO Max.
I don't got HBO Max because if I had HBO Max, I'd have finished watching Game of Thrones.
Yo, I might have to see whose HBO Max I have to see if I can actually give it to you. I'll let you know. Oh,
Is it ours?
HBO, you didn't hear me. No.
Is it someone else's?
No, I think I have either my mom's or
Because
my
I know
sister's.
we have. I think we have it.
Yeah, I don't got
I
it.
know we have it.
You gotta get
We
HBO
gotta,
Max.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
man, I'm not. I hear you.
Yeah.
Like, got to figure out how to get it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not about to be paying for all these.
Oh no, you're right. No, you're right. It's almost
subscriptions
cable
and
now.
stuff.
It's almost
Yeah,
cable.
exactly. I might as well just got cable. And, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Cool.
true.
That's
They kind of swindled us into
They did.
They did. No, that's
They
what
did.
that was the trick.
I do math all the time, so that's why I knew. I remember after the fourth subscription, I'm like, you mighty close to cable, player.
Listen.
But for real,
Then you don't get to see the exclusive stuff. So I had to
I
see
don't-
the stuff early. I like seeing the stuff early.
for me,
Yeah.
real quick,
You
I
get
mean,
stars,
from
you
what
can
from
see
what
some
I've seen
stuff.
about the movie, it reminded me of like the book, The Coldest Winter Ever, between that
Love
and
that book.
Moonlight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that era, dude gets booked, goes to jail. Like, I mean, like, it's that.
And I guess for me, because dude got booked. So the movie was supposed to be this love story. I don't know if it was supposed to be this love story, but it was a love story
It
that
was.
was overcasted by this whole like racial injustice. I had read a book. Well, I didn't read it. I was on Audible. I listened to a book called American Marriage, where something similar had happened. They had gotten married. They were on their honeymoon, and white lady accused him of rape. And he ends up going to jail. Wasn't even him. In fact, they was in the bedroom arguing the whole time, but she lied, said it was him. So it was something similar. So it was this love story that was overcasted by the racial injustice. And I was like, it's very real. And even though right now it might not be as bad as it was back then, it's still kind of like it's still a very ever present like loom. Where I was like, man, that makes them, for me, stuff like that takes the love out of it, because we have to really kind of look at the reality of the fact that this is a reality. And even though it's not as bad then, it was a reality for our grandmas and great grandmas, and even still a very
real reality
present,
today.
tangible reality now. And so I was like, that ruined it. However, I love the cinematography. I love the way it looked.
Cinematography
I
was
loved the
disgusting.
way-
It was
Man, the
filthy.
director
It was
I
filthy.
didn't see Moonlight, but some of the reviews I did watch said that it was similar. Cause I guess it's by the same guy.
Yeah.
But I love the way he did it. It's like, oh no, the colors are so pretty. The way you did this was so pretty.
Yeah.
But yeah, the villain for me was the mom his mom talking about cursing the baby because she was pregnant. This whole toxic
Hold on, wait.
Christian thing.
Which mom?
His mom. I forget his name. What's the boy's
You
name?
sure?
Wasn't it him that
It was
wasn't it
her
her that
mom.
was her
Fines
mom?
or whatever.
It was
her
somebody's
Her
mom.
mom.
It was her mom.
Her mom.
Either way,
yeah.
they was mad about the baby, and just the whole toxic Christianity thing where.
She did play that hard.
Yeah, for me, I was just like, are you sure it wasn't his mom?
No, it was
Either way,
it was yeah.
But either way, it was just it's like this is the whole toxic Christianity. Well, now she's pregnant at a wedlock. I feel it, but the baby's on the way now, and he's in jail. And so the present issue is he's in jail. We got to get him out of jail. We got to support this chick until he gets out to support this baby. Why are we worried about how it got here?
Yeah.
Your focus is on the wrong thing.
But I will speak to that regarding as like I don't think it's so much we can dress it in religion or something like that. It has to do with honor and actually being proud of something, because if you're black, you don't have a lot to be proud of. And I think just that I understood it, but this scene keeps on being replayed, so I can understand them being mad.
Yeah.
That was what happened. For me, the movie, like I said, it's just almost a retelling of the same, what do they have, like 5 plots that are actually as far as in movies, but it was done so beautifully that, like I said, it was almost art. It was art in the sense of, like, the cinematography is what took it away from me. It wasn't so much the story.
Yeah.
It was like the cinematography was filthy. Like, it was way better than what the story even was to me. And then I also, of course, I could get stoned for this, but I didn't think the book was fire.
I didn't read the book.
I think
it wasn't really that.
I think the book more.
I mean, it's the book was wrote in 1974.
Right.
But people give James Baldwin a lot more credit than
I know.
give
I
him.
hear what you're saying,
yeah.
but I mean, I think when you look at a piece like that in like today's eyes, and then you kind of mirror it with a film like that, I feel like when I looked at when the film was released, I just felt like the film was just pretty much part of a movement. It was,
I'll give you that.
So the artistic value that they put into it was to highlight the movement.
The movement, yeah.
And to bring along like the what we would call like, some of the pioneers of this
that time,
movement,
the
movement.
Yeah, because the literary times they do that. It's just that I know there's so many other stories sometimes that it's where it's like, though I know that we need that love story where it's like love triumphing over the tragedy and the tragedy sometimes we call African American life in this country, but it was like there are so many people whose pen is like Toni Morrison, who's crazy.
But the love story value sells, and especially in Western culture.
In Western culture, I get it. It's just like sometimes, like it's like me. I listen to when I listen to rappers and stuff like that. It's like I listen to rappers when they get older, and I think they have some of the best verses, but they're not hot anymore, so nobody cares. And that's kind of what it reminded me of.
The love story is what pulled
people in.
Yeah,
I think that's what pulled people in. I think the injustice part and the struggle part.
I get it. Yeah,
was what it was kind of like the anchor pieces. It was the string. It was the string and the kite. Basically, like the love was the kite part, and the injustice part, and the jail part, and the witness not wanting to say anything part.
Was bullied and did not.
Yeah,
say
it was.
anything.
Yeah.
So and I think about it like this. Have you guys how long does it take for you to play a song on Spotify for that artist to get paid? Like what, 30 seconds or something like that,
yeah.
right? And so I was listening to a song on Spotify and it took about maybe 20 seconds, 25 seconds for the song to even start. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of if I didn't like the song or anyway, he's already pulled me in enough to where I got to listen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what love stories do now in Western culture a lot of times. And that's why you feel like there's a part of the story that overshadowed the love story. And I do think that now people focus on love to bring us in because we are enamored by that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's something that we all kind of chase and maybe all fell at, but the film industry or the entertainment industry is the one place that can actually get it right perfectly. And that's only because it's from more of a fantasy point of view. You know what I'm saying? And so we all are drawn to that. And so most likely, like we look at Queen and Slim, that movie went so left, right? But at the same time, the love story between them, how it evolved, that's what most people.
Yeah,
that's
right.
what pulled more people in.
Yeah,
100%.
You said what now?
So yes, but I think the love pulls us in because we have to live in. I guess for me, I can't speak for everyone. I'm just like I have to live in reality every day. Yes, I'm ignoring you. I have to live in reality every day. So
I didn't even hear what you said.
Oh, I said I've never seen the Queen and Slim.
What?
But so no, y'all.
They oversold it.
You know what? We're not even gonna. I'm gonna buy the Queen and Slim painting just so you could look at it on the wall
and
every
see your
single time
deficit.
and see your deficit every single
You're
time.
gonna make it the assignment next week.
Yeah,
Because
I mean, she also hasn't watched
Which one?
Please
a lot of the movies on the
please
list.
don't.
Oh,
yes,
please,
right.
please do.
That's
right.
Yeah,
she did say that.
You can't really blame her.
I
for
forgot.
Like,
yeah.
For like, I mean,
we're about to have
know,
a whole episode on you.
We got 7 minutes.
Go ahead.
Point
Go ahead with your statement. Go ahead.
So the whole point of falling in love with love movies is because
she hasn't even seen Friday.
You hear how bad we talk about the dating scene is all the time. So yeah, of course we love a love story every now and then.
Yeah, so I just be like, man, life be trash. So if I could watch these two people go be in love and live in something that's make believe, I'm okay with that. Yeah. But I also do like sci-fi and Harry Potter. I like that stuff just because it's not real.
But there's love in those too.
And there's love in those too.
Can I? So
Harry Potter gets to fall in love.
He did. He sure did.
No, but listen, but that movie made numbers. So
yeah, the book made doors.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Here's a question. And then I'm gonna go. Yeah. Are we? Do movies allow black people to just be people, or do we have to be black first and then people second?
I was literally going to touch on
black
that.
First.
Black first all day, because people love rags to riches or a triumph over struggle, and we are literally the epitome of struggle. I tell people all the time, I said, some of you guys, if you didn't have a white oppressor, you wouldn't have a purpose in life. You don't even deserve to be here. I'm a person before I'm black.
Yeah.
So blackness is just as the seasoning and the culture on that, but I still have that meat of humanity that is me. So I should be able to walk and do everything. And the thing, that's why I said sometimes these stories get so much light when there's Toni Morrison who literally said, these are stories and my characters are black. So those characters being black might inform a little bit, but these are stories about people. And I just wish that we could start having those conversations. But to Marv's point is that it's like, I got to give people what they already like. So if they drink Tampico and they smoke Black and Milds, I got to give them a little Tampico and Black and Milds.
But it's not even just that. It's how America accepts it all in general, right? And
that's a taste, though.
Exactly.
That's taste,
but and so like when you think about it, like you say, it's a story. Yeah. And the characters just happen to be black in the story. Yeah. There was a conversation in Hollywood where they talked about why they always had to say black movies and why they couldn't just be called movies, right? Yeah. But everything that we do, whenever there's a breakthrough, we have to attach that to it, because if it's not, it's just a normal story and it becomes bland with everybody else. But we do there's an interesting value to when black is added, right? And so you think about Coach Thompson, whatever, who coached at Georgetown and who died not too long ago. Yeah. He was the first black coach to win NCAA title. Like they couldn't just say he's the next coach to win it. He was the first, because we have to throw that on there, because we have to also let history know. We have to put our landmark on history, because if we do not, they will wash history down and it will never have existed. We see why we're reteaching history to our children now that America did not want to teach, because they were good with whitewashing the history. So we have to put the black on to it, and that's what the part that I
agree. Yeah, and that's what I say, and that's why I agree with you. But like as I say, Toni Morrison, everybody knows that Toni Morrison is ridiculous with the pen.
Definitely,
she's a black woman, so the flag's there. Yeah. But we don't always have to. It shouldn't always have to be that. The marketing, I should say, for some of these movies. Like Beale Street Blues would have been gorgeous if they would have shot it with Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper, and they just had him direct it.
Definitely.
Yeah, because he's nice. The way that they just depicted it was just nice. It's like, I just wish that I wish we can start, as much as we can create taste and then feed that taste, I wish we could create more taste to have a more back in the 90s, the 80s and the 90s, I feel like the stories, because we didn't have special effects and we didn't have all these ways of telling stories, the story had to be written a little bit better. Things had to be slower. Like that's why a lot of people who watch Beale Street Blues, it got a critical acclaim from people who like us who maybe really watch movies.
It got about 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it got 7 out of 10, but how many people do you know that actually watched that movie?
Oh no, just people, avid movie watchers.
Avid movie watchers watched it, but the average person didn't watch that movie because it was too slow.
Yeah, it was. And that was the one thing that some people, you hear them say like, "Oh, it's slow."
7 minutes.
But at the same time, the movie was slow, but at the same time, a lot of films, it was a film. A lot of films are slower, have a slower pace, because they're trying to get somewhere, but they're trying to take you in between. The movies that are well, that's why there's a difference between movies and films. Movies are trying to get you A to B, right. And at the certain
I want to
point,
ask you guys this one question before we move on. Do you think that intentionally that writers and directors have been doing that, especially since COVID, because they believe that people have nothing else to do but spend time to watch these films, right? And so that gives them a lot more time to get more in depth with their pieces. Because what was half the world doing? You know, like, I'm not saying at this time in 2018, but I'm saying you think a couple years after this, you know what I'm saying? Films became, if you think it's film, a lot of these later films that came have been a lot slower, have been a lot more detailed and in depth.
They've been doing the opposite because people's attention spans are shorter.
No, I've been in 2.5 hour long movies. That's been normal now.
That's true. But
Mission Impossible was almost 1 hour and 45 minutes. Doctor Strange was over 2 hours. Like, no,
but those are movies.
I'll speak to.
Why is Doctor Strange so long?
No. That's not that long. That's short. His movie was short.
Compared to no.
It's
over 2 hours.
Yeah, it's those movies. And if you look at them, they're getting short. Like those ones are more the fan service in those. It's what's making them longer. They want to draw people out, but at the same time, some movies are like Top Gun is established IP. So they're like,
they can do whatever they want.
We can take time with our movies.
You say people have short attention spans. There was a study that says that people create depression when things end because they are more invested in, like, people binge watch shows and people have spent so much time into binge watching shows that once they end it becomes depression because they're so invested. So yes, people have been spending more time into the details of movies. I've literally researched this.
But if you're watching something, a movie is different than a film. That's why a lot more people are watching movies at home, because you can take a break. I can take a break. In that show that's 2 hours, that's an hour long.
That doesn't change how the film writer wrote it and directed.
Okay,
even if you press pause, that doesn't change how they wrote it and directed.
But I don't mind if they're long if they're good. So the one thing about the movie we're talking about today is that even though the movie was good, for me, because of how pretty it was and because of how heavy the context was, it shouldn't have been. At least for me, we could have probably shaved off about 20 minutes because I'm just like, because of how heavy it was. And even though the characters weren't extra deep, I mean, they were cool, but the character development wasn't like great. In my mind, we could have shaved off about 20 minutes and it would have been cool.
So I will speak to him. So A24 is like an independent film company. They've been working. But to your thought is that because streaming has came along, there's just been a blow up of content. So there has been more money given into films as well as movies. So now I have been seeing a lot more. I've gone on Prime and saw things that I know nobody had seen. But I'm like, this is one of the greatest films that I've probably watched in the last 10 years because they're pumping out so much content, because there's so much, we need to get people's eyes over here. So we're going to give something to everybody. I'll shoot you $2 million. Homeboy might take this acting job because, like, I got 6 other films lined up. So he might take this for less money, make a great film, because there's just so much more money, because there's 350 streaming companies, Paramount Plus, Stars, Showtime, all that kind of stuff.
Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I don't know that one. I'm not always good with movies. Who's in it?
Michelle Yeoh. She's been in everything.
I know her, but no, I haven't seen that one. No.
It basically is a movie with the feel of a film because of the emotion. Like, it has emotion. Like if Beale Street could talk. But it has action and it has craziness like Doctor Strange 2. And
I might have to watch that,
it's over 2 hours. It's still at the theater. And it's from A24. It's been there because they struck gold with it. Like, when you go see this movie from jump, you're like, the first act, you're like, I didn't expect. And then
you don't even know what to come into it. That's cool.
And then the second act comes in, it beats you down.
Well, I'm good with a 7 out of 10 on the movie. I'm good with that.
I'd probably say right around there. Yeah,
I'm good with that. I mean, artistic value was great.
Yeah, the director's
story was, typical. You know what I'm saying? And the duration length was probably a little too long.
What do you
and
say?
so 7 out of 10.
I could agree with that. We're going to 10 now. Last week we stopped at 7. So was it 1 to 7 or 1 to 10?
1 to 7. 1 to 7.
I'll say 5.
Okay. I could agree with that. I said no, same because like I said, for me it was a little long. I said very real, but no, I think it was good. I said no complaints really. But I think 7 is cool.
I would probably say exactly the same score if it had a little bit more character development, because to me, I'm like, I see that story, I think, all the time.
Exactly.
And that was really what it was. It was like, it was a typical story, and I'm just like, okay. But it was told because of Homeboy. Homeboy probably, if he didn't tell it, and it was just some random film, I probably would have never even watched it on the low. So it would have been like a 3.
I would say like 5.5, 6, because of some of the performances.
If it was based on a real story, I think it would have elevated it a little bit.
I'm not even sure because I know a lot of people live in that story.
No, I'm saying
if
you could tie it to based on a true story,
yeah, I
then it probably would
it.
have elevated it a little bit.
This is the movie that what's her name?
Giselle?
No, the actress Regina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Regina King. This is the one she won her Academy Award for.
I didn't know that.
Was she for playing the mom? She played the mom tough. And
I mean, she's so
she
cold,
did, but
though.
7 seconds was ridiculous.
She's so cold.
She's
so cold.
just nasty.
Yeah.
So I
She's
mean,
just
like,
cold, yeah.
there's so many things that she could have won it for. That is like, but this 7 seconds to me was better than this.
She's just extremely talented.
Yeah.
She's or next world.
Yeah,
So,
she's different.
I'd say like 5.5, 6. But yeah, it was a good movie. But yeah, definitely, it's got some times where the horns come in and they're walking. You're like, I'm gonna need y'all to get to another point.
We could have shaved about 20 minutes. And
But one of the scenes that was shorter that I liked was the scene when he was playing cards with his friend, and they were talking and what they were talking about. I did like that scene because of the detail, and I love the actor. I like Brian Tyree. He's a really good actor. But
He's like Jennifer Connelly. He's the black male version of Jennifer Connelly. He always looks confused. He always just looks like, I just don't know what's going on.
We gotta go. It's been long.
I know, my bad.
We gotta figure out how to get this.
it's a movie. It's a
not
movie
gonna work.
you gotta watch with him. I'll get the name, but he's stuck on the porch of his house.
Yeah, because he's like a hostage for doing like a shooting or something.
No.
Oh.
He's stuck on the porch of his house. He's locked out.
Yeah,
and it's what he deals with, how he deals with neighbors. It's really good.
Yeah, he always looks like he's in trouble or anxious and stuff like that. God bless him. All right, but yeah, we can go to the
But
next.
the first topic is DL versus Monique.
I bet y'all can talk for me on this. Yeah, go, please. One of y'all.
Come on, Mark.
Well, if nobody didn't know,
we know. We know.
Yes, give the overview.
Okay, please.
the overview is there was some beef between her and DL because she brought it to light on stage because they were both booked, and then she claims that she was booked as the headliner.
Right.
But then when she got to the venue, the order was switched. And she still did her time.
Did she?
They said she did her time.
No, listen to me.
No, did she? Yo, I'm with you.
Thank you.
I'm with you.
Continue. Keep on going. No,
I'm with you.
He got it. Okay, cool.
They said she did her time. They said her set wasn't particularly good, and I think
That
wasn't a set.
No. Go.
Keep on. I'm sorry. Continue.
The one in question.
No, I know.
And then she goes on stage on a different night when she's in Detroit, and she airs this all out, how she's upset with DL and he's this and he's that, and then
so it was a different show. I thought it was the show.
No, it was the show.
It was the show.
Was it?
It was the show.
So pretty much what happened is that Monique she's bad at business management. No, it's just what it is.
It's just what it is.
And the thing is that there's only a few people whose family or people who they're related to can actually maneuver through this thing. You know what I'm saying? Of entertainment business. Her husband is not one of those people. He's the one who did the contract for the show. The thing is that the contract was not the way that she wanted to be. It was a bad contract. But her husband negotiated the they already knew. She showed up and she did not do her time. The whole time all she did was complain about D.L. Hughley. I actually heard that D.L. Hughley's mom was in the audience. And while she was talking about how D.L. Hughley's wife sucks a coward's you know what and all that, like classless. And then you want to go and do an interview and even throw more light onto it and try to gaslight and say if you knew this about him and that about him and all, but you're not telling us. So what's the point? Either you gonna say what you know or you don't. You feel me? You did this with Lee Daniels. You did this with Oprah. You did this with Tyler Perry. Now DL. What's going on, Monique? She's just mad because she can't ride off of the fat jokes no more. She can't ride off of I was too big for the dude that I was knocking no more. That's what she's mad about. And so we're all just seeing that because she ain't funny no more.
Right. So I think I'm in because I don't necessarily follow a lot of blog stuff, but I followed a couple because we talk about trending stuff, so I had to kind of start getting into it. And I think her contract said that she was headlining, and then his contract memo or something.
But it was his was a deal memo.
Right. And so in my mind, somebody got played. And so whether it was bad management, it was your husband that got the wrong information, or DL, somebody had gotten bad information. So it looked like
Amber,
they played you both.
Amber, did I play you though?
What you mean?
No, you played yourself.
If there was a promoter there who booked the show.
Yes. Right. No.
Oh, okay, cool. That's why I just want people to understand that because
in my mind, but no, right.
She played herself.
She played herself.
Despite who should have did what, that's something that should have been handled off stage. You don't go on the stage and
thank you.
That kind
this
of
is why I knew both of y'all could talk.
That's my opinion. Like I said, it said if this is what you were understanding, and then you get here and found out it was something different. Now I got to talk to the promoters. I got to talk to. I didn't know her husband was the manager, so that's good information. I got to talk to my husband. I have to talk to the promoter. I need to go talk to DL. I need to figure out what all is going on and why was I told information that wasn't true. Mm-hmm. And if we're both headlining and we're both getting the whole hour or whatever the case is, and that's one thing, but that's not what I'm being told now. So she shouldn't have aired it out.
There's more to There's more to this.
I think
there's more to it
because
I believe. I think
so there was a radio. So DL has a radio show or a show, right?
I did see that.
So she goes on. She goes on DL's show.
That was a while ago.
She goes on DL, but this is what you got to think. This is what starts it.
Yeah.
Right. She goes on DL's show. They got a segment on there called "Would You Rather."
They do it all the time.
They do it all the time.
I've heard this part.
Would you rather? So they asked her, would you rather your husband have sex with Lee Daniels with a condom?
Who I have a beef with. Mm-hmm.
Or,
no, see how he's describing it. They do it all the time.
No.
Yo, this is Hollywood Unlocked. Okay, I'm ready.
But on this time, DL's not there.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So it was just exactly. So actually, would you have sex? Would you rather your husband have sex with Lee Daniels with a condom, or superhead Chris Steffens without one?
Here's the thing. Why would my response would be, why would you ask me a question like that?
But that was her. That pretty much was her response, right? So she goes to DL. Mm-hmm. She stops. She said, "Oh no, I need to talk to DL."
Because this is not okay.
So she called, not necessarily because this is their show. This is how they do it to everybody. If anything, what you should have did, if you knew you was going to the show, maybe you should have listened to a couple episodes.
I agree. I did.
But she did it. So now you go in there, you don't know nothing about it, obviously. Now you're blindsided. Okay, that's your fault. Okay. What we're starting to learn about Monique is she's setting herself up for all this stuff. So she calls DL. She says, "Hey, I don't know what you got going on, but da-da-da-da-da-da." And DL's like, "That's just how we do."
Right.
So now she's mad because she thinks DL's not protecting her. Right? The thing is that your husband is your manager. Mm-hmm. Why is he not protecting you?
Yeah, because he could have asked. And I think two things can be true in that sense. One, you can say, "Hey, I didn't like the question I was asked."
I hear that.
I didn't like. We didn't like the question that was asked.
I agree.
Period. Point blank. We don't have to say nothing else. Two, hey, I know you guys do a segment. Such.
Can we not do that?
Can we not do family? Can we not do family?
Shows all the time and say, here are the list of things I'm not willing to talk about.
I'll put it to you like this: NBA.
If you had known that was a segment, that's something that should have been.
NBA, Shaq and the Fool, right? JaVale McGee.
Yeah.
She literally spoke to Shaq and said,
I don't like when you put me in Shaq and the Fool because it's hurt my career.
Right.
It did. Yep.
He had to go to the Warriors, win that finals with the Warriors. That's how he eventually revived his career. Yep. But before that, teams were not taking because there were so many bonehead plays that people seen. Yep. The whole world was able to see. So everybody viewed him in that scope. Right. And so he went to him and was like, "Hey, could you not do it?" Shaq stopped doing it, and it changed a lot.
Right.
You know, him having that conversation with him and everybody knowing that conversation. It was a lot. It changed a lot. He gained a lot of respect. Right. Shaq gained a lot of respect.
Right.
Monique is handling everything
improperly
because she's going straight to the media, giving these jaded versions of her story because she's a scorned woman of the media. Right. Because she watched Amy Schumer get paid by Netflix. And she think, how you gonna pay this white woman all this money, but this black woman is the headliner of the Queens of Comedy. No, the only reason why you were the headliner was because you were on the Parkers. That is it. More was way funnier than you, hands down. You can't even touch her. You can't even touch her on your best. You can't even touch her on your best day.
But I think with Monique, she thought that, and this is the case with a lot of actors, that Oscar was going to make people, huh?
Yo, chill.
So you're known for being the worst mother on film.
But at the same time, people look at that performance. She got an Oscar for that performance, and she thought. And which a lot of people
we still think
Mariah Carey can sing too.
Yeah. But once you get the statue, it's supposed to.
She thought,
her voice be cracking a lot more lately.
She said she was.
Yeah,
older. She said she was supposed to. Like she thought she was going to get the big paydays, and she was going to be making a lot more. But when she went into those the parts, they were like, "Hey, here's this part. Here's the money for this part. Wait, I got an Oscar." I'm not taking that low amount. Hey, here's this part. Here's the money for this part. Hey, I need to be making more for and it kept going like that. And that's why a lot of her.
But that was her. If you take everything that Monique has done,
she's done a lot.
And still, that was the best thing. She's everything. You can compare everything. Everything else she's done is similar. It's the same thing. It's her doing the same thing in every movie. Literally.
She's trying to play two games.
Over-sexualizing her being big and still being able to get men. That was her thing. Then she lost weight, and then she couldn't do that anymore. And so she did Precious, and everybody said, okay, her take a little bit of makeup off of her. She throw a couple niggas and stuff like that. And it was pretty much, we looked at Monique as being like herself, not just being funny. So yes, you win an Oscar for that. We'll give you that. But other than that, you don't have the resume to make more money just because you got that one part right.
Or to make a lot
of money. I'll do this. People try to play sometimes 2 or 3 different games.
Yes.
If you're Kevin Hart, you're playing the superstar game. He has a team of writers. He admits it.
Yes.
He's playing the superstar game.
Yes.
If you wanted to go the acting route, what's name was a rapper? Will Smith was a rapper. You know what he saw? Oh, snaps. This acting thing is kind of my shtick. Let me go. He played the actor game, actor/superstar game. He wasn't out here trying to go and do stage sets with people.
Just got an Oscar. Just got an Oscar.
Yeah.
He made all the money.
Yeah.
So we learned that box office hits don't get Oscars. They don't make money like the people who win Oscars. If you do
Different
make money like
games.
that, you are like a Will Smith.
Yeah.
You've already been there. Normally, those people are giving the passionate performance because don't nobody really know who you are.
Yeah, that's true. And plus, for black and white, getting that Oscar means
it's a different game, though.
It's a different game because we can get an Oscar. Cuba Gooding Jr. When he got his Oscar for a great performance.
Yeah.
But that didn't lead to it led to some, then it led to a plateau, then it led to him going.
But he was already before he got the Oscar, he was already Cuba Gooding Jr. We already knew he was.
Yeah.
And so he already had the resume to where he was fine. Cuba Gooding Jr. is fine today.
He's not out
complaining in the press about not being a typecast or not getting it anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. In his lane.
Yeah.
Don't try to play 8 different things. You know what Tyler Perry did? I remember he was sitting down with what's the guy that wrote Blackish? I forgot what the guy's name is.
Kenya Barris.
Kenya Barris.
Yeah.
He was sitting with him and he said, I have an audience. I write for my audience. I don't give a F who anybody. Have you seen my house? I'm worth a bit. Like, I write for who I write for. I stay in my lane.
That's true.
With the thing that I don't like.
Old plantation.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't care who doesn't like me. They ain't got a quarter or a tenth of what my children are gonna have.
Yeah.
I do what I do because I had a particular end. Monique is like, yo, you're multi-talented in a lot of ways. You're almost a jack of all trades in a lot of things, but you're a master of none. Because a lot of comedians, when you come up there, Monique, if you were a real comedian, you could have did a 45-minute set and then talked about that afterwards. You ain't got a set. You ain't had a set since when?
And that's when all that Amy Schumer stuff came up. I was like, you wanted more for a stand-up when you're not even funny like that anymore. You're not relevant like that anymore.
Well, forget about relevant. You just don't have the skill. You don't have a pen.
And that's just the thing.
And then she did what she did when she did it, but now you're not.
So double down. So double down on one of your lanes. So if you want to do the acting thing, you're great at it. Do it. At the comedy thing, you're already a charismatic character. You could have doubled down on your pen. You could have been touring for the rest of your life until you were 80 years old doing that.
She didn't want to do
the legwork.
Yeah, she didn't
want to do the legwork.
Yeah.
See, the thing is what she seen was everybody getting these bags, but she didn't realize that Netflix was giving everybody these bags because of the notoriety that they already had. Because they knew if they paid you, exactly. Because they knew that if they paid you, you were going to bring views. People were going to watch the content because of your name. Monique was not a huge sale. Even the shows that she did, even the shows she did,
why wasn't she? Why wasn't she a
because
huge
she's
name?
not funny.
Well, no, not just that.
Why wasn't she?
Her? No, okay, so let's say if she went from the Parkers, then she did Precious. Let's say I'm Monique right now. I go to the Parkers. They said I'm gonna give you $50,000. You need to promote the movie. You need to do everything. She didn't say anything about Lee Daniels because you were trying to play your role to become a superstar. You would have been somebody. You could have commanded $20 million from Netflix, but you wanted to open your mouth, and it's okay if that's what you wanted to do. There's no problem with that. Then you should have doubled down on your.
No,
comedy.
you could not.
But I'm saying is that she would have been better off than where she's at right now. Right now, guess what you're doing? D.L. Hughley did nothing to you.
Name me a funny Monique joke.
We already agree on that. But as far as but look at this with D.L. Hughley.
Yeah.
How am I gonna get mad at Marv? Me and Marv are doing the same job. How am I gonna get mad because I find out that Marv's making $32 an hour and they only offer me 21? It ain't Marv's fault.
Yeah.
Marv somehow negotiated that. It's whoever the dude up here is doing this. Right. So why are you talking about D.L. Hughley in any way when it had to do with him?
Why you sitting next to the dude who's negotiating all your deals?
Yep. And then she she at Monique escalated because DL put out they put out their receipts and then he put out something and then she went in on him again and was talking about.
It seems disingenuous to me.
She want to play the black women card. Oh, they attacking black women.
She played the whole. She talked about his daughter.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Like you're doubling down on some bully tactics when it's like, yo, I didn't even need to hear about all this. Double down on your lanes, and then everything's gonna come to you when you double down on whatever lane that you decide to pick. Pick that lane and keep on going towards it. You have talent. I love her talent.
No, you don't.
Well, I'm saying, okay, you're saying that. I'm saying you have a talent in certain areas. Double down on one of them because nobody wants to be like, no.
She's got some.
But complaining. That's what she has talent in is complaining. That's all she's done for the past. What are we talking about? You've never heard her do nothing but complain for the past. That's her best talent. She complains. She doesn't do anything. I have not heard Monique do anything but complain. Even the comedy show she did, she complained about DL. She got on DL's show. She complained about somebody else. She got on somebody else's show. She complained about somebody else. She complained about Oprah. She complained about Tyler. She complained about Lee Daniels. Her and Lee Daniels make up and she started complaining about other people. Like, that's all she do.
Because it was
She's
some
a
money.
career complainer.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, yo.
Even her jokes where she was complaining about the skinny women.
That's just all she okay, no, we learned. That's her talent. She needs to find something else to complain about. Complain about Popeye's chicken or something.
And look, that could even be a lane itself. Like, I'm the professional complaint. Like I said, my thing is like
observation comedy. That works.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But my thing is saying, whatever you're choosing, just choose it. There's no reason that you need to talk about, because this is one thing, and I'll leave it on this.
Black women, I hope you're intelligent enough to realize that that's what your talent is.
Oh, ouch. But the D.L. Hughley thing, the reason I didn't appreciate that was that specifically with them, when you talk about Lee Daniels and all them, they already had a bag, will have a bag, everything is cool. D.L. Hughley relies on. People don't realize that black entertainers don't make bread like that. They got to stay on the road. They got to stay on. They have to stay in front of some camera in order to continually have a half of the money that the white actors have.
DL Hughley has put in the legwork and he has grinded. So where what a lot of people don't realize is that some people who were just seen as black comics, like DL's not just seen as that no more.
True.
Because of the platforms that he's on, he's expanded his demographic, and people actually look at him as like a voice of reason sometimes, not just comedy. So he's kind of like like shifted himself. He's almost like a Dick Gregory in between and there. You remember how Dick Gregory just went super extreme to the other side.
Yeah.
But what I will DL somewhere in the middle right now.
But what I will say is that the bag that DL gets, though he's diversified himself, kind of like T.I., there's a couple people who've kind of diversified themselves so that they can be more of a staple in the African American community.
I don't really know if T.I.
we're not going to get into that, but my thing is, my thing is that he just became
talk
more,
like this and just be saying
all that being said,
super long words.
Yeah, but all that being said is that she still has the power because black girls have a lot of stock. If you say something like that, believe women is still a thing. You say that, that he did something, they can conflate issues and think that DL Hughley had anything to do with but no, it was a promoter that dogged you. Yeah. You and your manager, the promoter, you got dogged in the situation. DL Hughley had nothing to do with it.
Yes.
And now he's suffering consequences because of what you were saying, and I didn't need to hear that.
I don't think so, because I think people are now looking at Monique as the girl who cried wolf, because now they're looking at
I wish you were that intelligent. I don't think they are.
I think a lot of people are, and as I followed this, that's what I'm hearing from a lot of people. Like Monique is pretty much people. We're being pretty nice about it. Right. People are really saying Monique is trash. Right.
Well, yeah,
people are really saying Monique is trash right now.
Yeah, they've gotten. I think they're over the point where they're like, "Oh, she was done wrong," to where they're like, this keeps happening.
Yeah.
Like, this almost like this keeps happening. We keep seeing, like, it's kind of like.
And whenever we hear the other side, whenever we hear the other side story, it's almost similar. Like, it's all about deals that went wrong, how she felt about this, that, and the other. Pretty much her as long as she's been in the entertainment industry, she's been on TV, she's done comedy tours, she's done all that, right? She should have a little bit more savvy about how the entertainment industry works, and she's not navigating it that way.
But so even let's say you guys are right. Let's say let's say 90% of the people are like, "Oh, I'm catching on to what you're doing here." Your intention was still to bring me down when I had nothing to do with your problem. I had nothing to do with your problem.
That's what I'm saying. He has his audience, so he's responded to his audience.
I mean, his audience, like I said, is cool, but at the same time, for you to even try, like, I might be the rawest dude out there, but for you to come at me and try to play something, I'm like, you couldn't catch me if you wanted to, but because you intended to, I got a problem with that.
I will give you this. I'll give you this. When I listen to it, I listened to Monique first before I listened to DL. Yeah. And the only reason why is because I realized that Monique already has this picture painted about her. Right. And if I listen to DL first, I would automatically – so I listened to her first. And when I was listening to her, I don't know all about that. But I will tell you this. When I was listening to her, she was able to play the sympathy card very well, to where I was like, God damn, DL. You know?
Yeah.
And then I listened to DL.
Yeah.
That's why I was scared. And what happened is that what DL had that she didn't have was detail. See, Monique, everything was vague. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? She talks in this vague thing. She'll say things that are threatening, like, if I told you about what this person did, or if I told you what this person did behind the scenes, like, Monique, why are you saying stuff like that? Those are the threatening things that where you say it gets this perception. And people start to say,
that's my issue was.
People start to say, well, what does she mean about what DL Hughley? Because we actually respect DL Hughley, so what he got going on.
No, you're right. You're
right. Yeah. And so that's why I was saying, as I was listening to her, she was painting that picture to where you could be like, hold up, DL, like, bro, you better than that.
And where is a lot and very important to what the story is. Mm-hmm. Because you're listening to her with a full Detroit crowd.
Not full, but
you're
right. But you're right.
I'm not talking about. See, now I'm not talking about the show.
Oh, you're talking
because
about.
I think the show turned a lot of people off because people were like, you did not come. pretty much you were not prepared, Monique, and you came here and just talked about DL the whole time.
Yeah.
But what she
and
did
it's
was
Detroit. Troy knows what it is.
She did a I guess a 2-on-1 interview with her husband, and they were interviewed, and so she was pretty much telling her side of the story, and so the way she put it out was as if, you know, oh, I'm just this black woman trying to work and everybody's just attacking me and I'm just out here trying to be the best me. But, you know, they just be dogging me and they be acting like friends in my face, but behind my back they be acting like snakes. And I'm like, Monique, you feel me? That's exactly what you are doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the only difference is that you're doing bad business with people. And because you're not maybe involved, maybe you trust your husband a little too much when it comes to business. That may be it. But maybe because you're not that involved with what he got going on and the outcomes come out the way that they come out, you can't be mad about that.
You can be a good husband and be a bad manager.
You could be a good husband and a bad manager.
That's why
and even if and even
don't do business like that anymore.
It happens.
And maybe even if the plan was, and I'm just on this, is like maybe if the plan was like, yo, we're gonna go and do things in this particular way. You got to just do it in that way. Like, you're in an industry where someone else gets to choose and dictate, so you have to kiss behind.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being the case, you can't be out here and just, I'm exposing everything everywhere. There's a bunch of crap in Hollywood that's horrible and bad.
Your fans are us.
Yes, exactly.
We who pay you.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So it's like, so be a comedian or try to be a superstar and play that game. Do one or the other, but don't try to play both because you can't be both. Yeah. You really can't. Be a Corey Holcomb's and a couple other people, they will tour forever. They don't get any type of Hollywood presence for real unless someone throws them a bone. And guess what? People respect them, and the top comedians will say, yo, I rock with this dude. He's on my Mount Rushmore because he's skilled with what he does. He stays in his lane. Cuba Gooding Jr., not everybody, like, he doesn't have a bunch of awards, but at the same time, you can't deny the talent level because he does what he does. Monique, figure out what you want to do that, shut your mouth, and just focus on that.
Start complaining, Monique. Just start a blog.
And like I said, God bless her because like I said, she has a lot of stuff to offer in different ways. But like I said, stop doing stuff that's not going to benefit our community as a whole,
or benefit you.
Like,
wow, this is what I don't get with celebrities, especially with nowadays. It's easier for them to start a podcast because they have the following, just to talk, just go talk about whatever you want to talk. Like, people will listen to you because of who you are. She would have mad
people on her podcast if she just had a random podcast.
But see, the thing is what you're doing is you think that because 20 years ago we used to watch your TV show, or because people came to the Queens of Comedy tour and we watched the DVD, you thought we came for you. Like, no.
There's other people on the bill.
We came for the entertainment value, and you just so happen to be part of it.
Part of it, yeah.
You know, now what what have you done for us lately. In industry, right. And what have you done? Nothing. Precious was not for the comedy. It was not for the comedy
and
demographic.
It was like 2009 or something. What was it?
But even then, though, maybe you should become a method actor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Get into
serious acting. If that's the case.
50 Cent picked her up.
Yes,
just
but
recently.
God bless her. I hope she doubles down on it. Yeah,
but you want to be. But she wanted to be a comedian because she thought she was funny.
See, and that's a big point, because if she had said, "Wow, let me take this Precious." This Oscar I got for Precious. Let me go take some of these. She wanted a lot of money when she didn't do that much acting, serious acting. She should have said, "Hey, look," and I mean, this is someone who makes way less than an actor does. So sometimes I can't tell what they should make. But at the same time, there's some paying dues part, taking the smaller roles, taking the smaller roles here, taking the smaller roles there.
Regina King just started getting a bag.
Thank you.
No,
and
I was said the same thing.
Exactly.
Viola Davis went on this whole spiel one time
talking just started getting a bag.
I'm not getting paid like some of these other white actors. And so if they're saying it,
all the Friday actors that we thought was big, and then we got paid like $5,000 to do that movie.
Yeah. And so that's why it's like, no, you have to do the groundwork. So even when you brought up D.L. Hughley, it's like, no, he was on the King of Comedy, and what did he do? He built himself another platform. He's done nothing since then. Yeah. And so if you would double down on anything,
whatever you do,
right? You don't think
whatever you do.
If you would double down on comedy, maybe you could be.
Yeah.
Right now, trying to do
E40 used to ride around selling CDs out the trunk of his car.
Got to do something.
Yeah, and now he's royalty when he walks inside of the stadium.
Yeah. Like for real.
Because he never said I'm gonna forsake that part. Right. He still sells CDs.
Right.
Yeah.
He's just not out of his car, but he still sells.
But
CDs,
he became a statue. He became a pillar in that community because that's what he decided to double down on.
The thing is it's one thing to. It's not. It's more than that. People don't. It's regardless on if people know you or not, or if they like you or not. Yeah. See, everybody wants to be attached when you blow up. Mm-hmm. So what you have to do is you have to let people know who you are, right? And so sometimes it's just about getting your name out. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what Monique wasn't doing. Right. She thought that we were just going to new people are born every day, Monique. You know what I'm saying? Like come on now.
I'm not even sure if Avery was born when Precious came out.
Right.
I'm just saying, there's a 13-year-old right now that probably watching comedy that don't have no idea who you are. Didn't even know you did Precious. Like, let's be real.
Or the Queens of Comedy or whatever.
Or whatever.
I think she still could have been getting I think she still gets some of the comedy. Like she still does some touring, but at the same time, there are a lot more comics who. We're like, oh, I remember them.
The visual, like you're on social media, you're doing this.
I don't think she probably do the she's coming to
every once in a while.
She's coming to Muckleshoot Casino, like you know what I'm saying, like she go to a real comedy club.
When the whole Netflix thing went down, Vegas, she got a residency for a certain amount of time. But my thing is saying is like, but we're like I said, we're in a new age, new game, new faces, new people who are like. I was only 5 and Precious came up, but now I actually go to comedy clubs and I could do stuff now. But like I said, but you didn't double down on it.
How'd that residency work out? How'd that residency work out?
As long as she got a bag, she cool. It probably wasn't that great.
No, that's what I'm trying to tell you is she's not building the resume to get what she wants.
Yeah. So no, that's why I said both of them could have just talked with me. I was just gonna put that piece in there.
For real. No.
Yeah, it was like because I think we all kind of felt the same.
No, for real, we do.
God bless her.
Next topic.
God bless her for real.
I'm gonna get a Precious shirt now.
You're
I didn't really
stupid.
like the movie.
This nigga
So
said to
it's
get a
interesting,
Precious
like,
shirt.
You didn't what?
I didn't really like the movie, and so
It was kind of a sad look.
It was hard. It was a hard watch.
It was a hard watch.
It definitely was a hard watch.
Come on, guys.
He said, "Come on,
Yeah,
guys. I'm gonna be happy." Bill Street Blues. That was even hard.
One thing I do want to know: why do we get Oscars for being nasty people?
That's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
Because
I'm just saying.
Part of it is
Denzel.
Part of it is how they see us. And if we are playing a role really good, how they see us, then it's like, oh, just like Halle Berry. Halle got that Oscar. The role she played
in Monsters Ball.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, they did all this good work. She's a superstar name at this point. Yeah, she has to show some movies to get an Oscar. She has to get knocked down by Billy Bob Thornton to get an Oscar.
Tore her up.
No, I'm saying Denzel was like he played like he used to get typecasted as the black cop, good guy cop in all the movies. Even in John Q, it was kind of like a cricket, but it had a warm undertone to it because of his son's condition. But then he plays a crooked cop who turns on his white rookie, and he gets an Oscar for that.
Defamation. That's really what it is.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You have to, yeah. But like I said, that's a whole. You can go on that for days because like no one ever really wants to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But
because he should have got one for Malcolm X.
What did Tank say? What did Tank say? And we'll just leave it at this. Tank said he says as far as like. They don't care about Black Death. You see, they keep on proliferating it. He says R&B has been downplayed because they care about Black love.
Yeah.
Because if Black love comes in, it's a different image, and it literally will bring people together. If you notice that all the R&B, even from the 70s and 80s, they try to get them down because they don't want to see us love each other.
Yeah, that's why music changed. Yeah. But we see, like even Will Smith, like you think about it, like Will Smith could have. Ali was an amazing piece.
He should have won for Ali, but what he won, and we can go to the next topic. But he went up against. It seemed like all the time they have this powerful performance. They had to have they went up against someone who was equally powerful.
But it was an iconic piece.
True.
And so it's like, but. He got one for King Richard, and the thing is like we look at the end result of who King Richard was. His daughters, Venus and Serena, but that that movie showed like this eccentric side of a dad who was kind of like overly crazy about his daughter's success, right? And that's what gets him to win, even though his whole career he's played like this whole, you know, kind of I'm goofy in my own right, kind of, you know, hero come to save the day.
7 pounds you could have got it for that. There was a couple.
So many
7 pounds.
Yeah.
Different. I loved Collateral Beauty. There was a couple of movies that were just really good that was like,
really
but you wouldn't get it because that image. And so, I mean, that's why I'm saying that's a whole nother.
Yes. No, you're right.
But we go to this next topic. Shannon Sharpe recently made news.
Skip. Listen here, Skip.
Shannon Sharpe. Have you seen? You know who he is?
I do. I think he's a very attractive man.
No, let's come on.
Of
Let's
course,
not go
of
there.
course,
Don't ruin
of
Shannon
course.
Sharpe. Don't ruin
That's where I
Shannon
knew
Sharpe
she was
for me.
going there.
Chase
Wait,
out.
wait,
Chase out. I got you ruined Idris Elba for me. Okay.
You
Don't ruin Shannon Sharpe for me. I watch him every morning. Okay.
I feel like this was an Idris Elba thing. Like when we said Idris Elba, y'all like, man, F that nigga.
I
I was like, he's very
about to
attractive.
start saying F Shannon Sharpe.
No, because I watch him every morning. He's my source of my day.
You can have him. I mean, I can have him too. You can have him in different capacities.
We just got into another topic. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Now I can't watch Undisputed.
Wait.
I'm
Okay.
always be thinking about Amber trying to take
Question
Shannon
about
Sharpe.
Shannon. Is it his persona or is it his how he talks?
So, how he talks. Have you heard
He from the
Yo,
country.
chill.
He from the country and he got money. So
Right,
now
listen.
he dressed nice. He got his teeth done. He got all that.
He
got
got
that-
his teeth done.
Yeah, he
He
did.
got that
Yeah, I'm saying he
physique.
did
That's
get it
a
done.
good- He's a good looking. There's lots of good looking black men. He's a good looking.
But we don't want to hear about him. We're the only black men.
We're the only black man. We're only good looking black men on the planet right now.
This is why I'm going to the gym now because there's just respect that you get as well as my mouthpiece works is like, you know, it's just going as a black man into something and just saying one thing and they're like, oh my gosh, you sound like Jesus.
No, just said
That's what it
because I
is.
know who he is, but I ain't watched not one look at any of his shows.
Ain't never watched a
No,
football
but
game with him in it.
The
He
Brian
said-
thing.
He said.
No, you didn't watch no game with him in it. You just said
He
he
didn't
did.
say. He said.
Before I
He
started
said nothing
following.
wrong.
He said what he said. They were coming at him online because there was comments about him dating a white woman or who he was dating.
No.
Was it?
Didn't he make
So
comments
no.
about Bronny?
No.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, so all right. So
Please,
what happened
yeah,
is
thank you.
that what you're talking about actually that's years old.
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
So
okay,
he dated this white woman years old. And he was like, I don't know why people got a problem with who I date, and the fact that you guys are worried about it shows a problem with you guys. Yada yada yada. Whatever. That was neither here or gone. What happened was when Bronny took the white girl to the prom, he was outside the airport. TMZ caught him at the airport, and they said, "Hey,
They're the worst.
Shannon, what you think about people dragging Bronny for?" Going to prom. So Shannon's like, well, I more than likely read the comments, and I'm just saying, that's a boy in high school. Who he likes is who he likes. The fact that everybody cares about who he likes, he pretty much like y'all tormented because y'all woo, and the fact that you think that because somebody has to be. That black person has to be miserable to be with a black person, but they can't be with nobody else, is insane. And so what he was saying was, what he was pretty much saying is people are going to be with whoever make them happy.
Yeah.
Maybe the people that are like them make them miserable. It's not for us to judge. You know what I'm saying? Why are you guys so worried about it? Focus on your own lives. What eventually happened after that, this is where it escalates. Because what happened was he did not say a soul's name, but Bishop Danwan Umar Johnson came out of left field and said, hey, you want me to tell you something?
Yeah, this man's
so
entertaining.
guess what? Guess what? Mr. Shannon Sharpe said something. He didn't say nobody's name, but I guess he was talking about me. Oh, Mr. Umar Johnson. Wonder how. So now he got a 20-minute video on how we're not supposed to be with white women. You're not supposed to entertain it, Mr. Pan-African, all that. Escalated a little more.
Didn't he marry a?
Hold on. I'm about to escalate a little more. Because yesterday,
the video.
Not yesterday.
Yesterday, Dr. Umar Johnson at the
ago.
mall got caught. He ha-ha with a little white girl talking about, oh, I was just at the kiosk buying incense
his white
or
Nubian
whatever.
queen.
I was just at the kiosk buying incense or whatever, and she asked
my
me,
albino queen.
No, yes, and I was just taking a picture with a black brother, and she asked me, "Who are you?"
She wanted
and
to
so
be educated
I
on
told her,
Pan-Africanism.
"Who am I?" So what it looks like is it looks like she's taking out his phone number. He could be telling the truth. We don't know. But at the same time, the way he's talking to her is not like...
It's not like he's educated.
It's like flirty. It's like he's flirting with her. Yeah. And so people like, hold up, you just said all that you just said about... So he comes back and said, I see y'all see me talking to this non-African woman.
Saw the comments.
Talking about this non-African woman. But I just took a picture with my brother. And she said, oh, you must be somebody. Who are you? So I told her, who? You can Google me. She Googled him. He said, yeah, that's me. She said, oh, okay. He was like, ha, 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 ha. And then right after that, I took a picture with a black sister. Nobody talking about that.
It could be, but it's just like when you talk so much head.
Yes.
You're on Breakfast Club.
Yes.
2 or 3 different interviews saying what you said.
Yes.
You gotta have level of transparency.
Yes.
That's the reason why I never really wanted to be in the public, was because though I know I walk very straight, I know that someone can take something and they can spin it how they want to spin it.
Yes.
And so for you to talk as much as you talk, I'm the fourth cousin removed of Marcus Garvey and everybody else and Frederick Douglass, and then to have an image where you're out here even congregating.
We live in
it
America.
sounds
You
crazy.
talk to white people.
No. But it's him no. How he talks.
So it's not really about Shannon Sharpe. It started about Shannon Sharpe, but Umar escalated it to where it became full circle.
Whereas basically it's like a lot of these celebrity people are out here and they live in a different world than us, so they're giving us their perspectives, and it's like, and it has nothing to do with what our community actually is. No. And so people look like hypocrites or something. It's like, no, it's not necessarily that. It's just
Shannon Sharpe live in Beverly Hills.
It's a different. You live in a different world.
That's true.
You make different money. You live in a different world. You get to talk about sports all day to pay your bills. Yes. Like, it's a different.
But he also lives in Atlanta too, and so
in a different. Yeah. It's
my thing is that you have to respect the person and not necessarily look at their whole lifestyle. Like, a person will tell you who they are all the time. I watch Shannon every single day. Every single day I watch Shannon Sharpe.
What you watching every day, Mark?
It's called Skipping Shannon. Come on at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, stop playing with him.
Skipping Shannon Undisputed. I watch Shannon Sharpe every single day. And Shannon's a very pro-black man. Yeah. You know, he went to a HBCU, for God's sake. Yeah. And when he talks about black history, he's way more in-depth than your average black American. Right. And so for people to pretty much put him in a category because of who he dates is pretty almost ignorant, because you have no idea who this man really is. And he's not a very out there person. So when people find out, yeah, they may be shocked or whatever, woo, woo, woo. But that's why he's not an out there person, because because we always say it, 2 things can be true. He can be proud to be a black man and also date a white woman. That's just, some people are like that. It is what it is.
Is that a good transition?
No. I'm wondering the question, because there's always that question of how pro or proud black you can be, and you don't date just inside your race.
That's what I was talking about.
But nobody else talks about. We don't tell somebody that they don't have a rich Asian culture because they date a white person, or we don't tell somebody that they don't have a rich Indian culture because they come here in America and they date a white person. We don't tell people they don't have a strong African culture because they come here and date a white woman. We only do that to people in black America because we feel like we're so threatened here that we have to see black with black people, and that's it. And so it don't matter who you black people date. You could date anybody that's not black, you gonna get flack for that, because black people are the only people. Well, I wouldn't say the only people, because Mexicans have a hard time and Asians have a hard time. They do. But I mean, people on the inside have a hard time with outside of your race dating. But that's just the world we live in. We send our kids to these schools, and their friends and their cliques are all interracial. They're learning how to coincide with people who do not look like them. Yeah. The world is eventually going to look like that. And so how can we expect them to encompass all this, understand all this, and then give them a cap at it and say, you can't. You can know them, you can like them, you can understand them, but you can't date them, and there becomes a level of confusion, and then there is never really no growth. We still become racist, stereotypical society, and we're all separate, and we'll always be separated by those things.
I will say specifically with that, because people have asked me that before, specifically is like being in America, knowing that, knowing the appetite and knowing that images are very important. If I'm sitting in certain places of leadership, I have no disagreement. I'm like, yo, you can do what you have to do. Like I told my brother, because he asked me one time, he's like, yo, Cam, how would you feel about like dating interracially and stuff like that? I said it would be almost impossible for me to marry someone outside my race, not because of so much the color or the skin tone and stuff like that. It's the culture and the power dynamics that exist. Being a black person, the power dynamics of me interacting with a Caucasian woman is a way different power dynamic than me interacting with a woman of my culture. True. And so that to me is almost more important than the other parts. So when I say just for the average everyday person, that's what the answer I gave him, because like to me, we live in Tacoma. Tacoma is a very mixed place. Mm-hmm. In Tacoma, you will have a white girl who's grown up around all kinds of different kind of people. Her name is Shantae. You talk to her on the phone, and then you meet up with her, and she's as white as a snowflake. And when you interact with her and stuff like that, she's not even thinking about race. She's just her. She's Shantae. And so you have different places like that around the country where it's like that. But I still know that the power dynamics that exist between me, if I was trying to reach certain places and trying to be something to my people in a particular way, that would be something I have to be aware of, because if I'm in entertainment or if I'm in politics or I'm in something, a lot of that's about image. But so though it doesn't matter on a moral level, the image would make something. So for me, that's
what we're saying is the problem.
No, it is a problem.
But
it's in America. So if we want to get something accomplished, image is a lot of things.
Okay,
but
we're working to change the trajectory of how we see America, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, I hear what you're saying. That's fine, and that's all fine and dandy. But that's the poison that poisons America, the mindset of America. The thing is that you have all these things that you want to build it off of, yet you poison it by saying it is not really a free, inclusive place. It's more of a segregated to yourself place. And that is a confusing thing for people to live in that type of society, because you see people fighting for more. So my thing is yes, personal preferences, whatever. If you feel like that's how you want to date, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But for us to be interjecting in other people's lives on what they choose is the problem. That's all I'm saying. If you want to be
that's what gets used.
No, that's what I'm saying. If you're in a position of power, you say, "Hey, I need to, keep this in-house." I'm fine with you believing that. But if somebody else does not want to,
you don't crap on.
That's what's going on. That's the initial problem of it. It has nothing to do with how people are living their individual lives, the people who are commenting and criticizing. It has everything to do with them focusing on somebody else, how they're living their life. Mm-hmm. And that is where the poison of America starts.
Is it different for women that date outside the race and men who date outside the race?
I think it's from the point of view of sex, right? Because I think women a lot of times have a more scorned or jaded view of black men dating white women. But when we see white men date black women, we're like, "Hey, what's up, dude? Like, good job, dog. I see you." Because we feel like
the level of competition isn't the same.
It's not the same. Yeah. But we feel like in order for you to reach a peak of interest for her, you got something going on for you, brother. You feel me? I'm with that. You feel me? I ain't got nothing against who people decide to love, though. I'm not walking and seeing a woman and saying, hey, you know what? You should have chosen a brother.
I would agree with him there that as far as like when we see it, we might like look like, oh, that's different, or like, oh, that's what's up. And we do that because it's like, hey, and you have to raise black kids. You're a white guy raising black kids. Yeah. You already know what the reality of the situation is. So I applaud you for going and raising and taking this undertaking. Yes. It's not the same when black women look at black men because of what men are quote unquote supposed to be in this community.
And there's more of them than us. So
I guess I'm a product of an interracial couple. My mother is German and black. My father is black, so I don't consider myself to be mixed, but I am a product of an interracial couple, so I've got to see the dynamic. And so I'm just like, if your preference is outside of black women, don't poo-poo on black women. I just hate this whole, I don't date black women because you guys are loud, you guys are this, you guys are, no. If you prefer white for whatever reason, that's your business. And it's funny because white women aren't all that passive. You know what I'm saying? I've watched men date black.
Full stop.
Yeah, I've watched.
Full stop. And women
are not that passive. And so when I hear that, I'm like,
white women are just more. They have a level of submission to them.
I don't necessarily. No. Because I have seen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Men date white women. And so I think it depends on the white woman. I can say that because I have seen them and they still fight and they call the police and they do restraining orders and they be just as crazy and they be just as I'm holding your kids, calling you all kind of N-words and everything else. And so back to the power dynamic that you said. And so though I understand what you're saying because I've heard that before, I also know I have seen some not so passive white women. And have even seen people say like, I understand that you think it's a compliment that you're telling me that you're picking me over black women, but it's not because you're telling me I'm not as good. Yeah, you're telling me that I'm not as. You're telling me I'm not strong, and so you're picking me. And so I'm like, well, and so I've heard white women say that. It's like, no, it's almost offensive because you're telling me I'm not strong. You're telling me I'm not good enough. You're telling me
I was easier.
Or I was easier. Yeah. And so I just feel like if that's your thing, that's your thing. Do what you're gonna do. Even talking to my father, who's recently been dating, because he's been dating a lot of everybody, and he was just like, the fact that people have said this is foolish because I've yet to meet a white woman who's been more passive or more submissive or whatever. I'm like, that's funny. And so maybe it's just the ones that he's been dating, but I'm just telling you what I've heard.
Yes, he's dating. So I'm gonna tell you right. Go ahead.
And so back to your question, what do I think? So we live in Washington. Everybody kind of dates everybody. For me, I prefer black men. I think that's a look thing, though. I think you guys are sexy. I think black men are sexy. White men, and though I have seen attractive white men, they don't do it for me the same. That's a preference. That's a physique preference thing for Amber. But I'm like, no, do what you're gonna do. Just leave me out of it.
So
that's it. Do what you're gonna do.
Like what Amber was saying, and to kind of piggyback off what you were saying, you could have a white woman named Shantae. Yeah, she's not going to be submissive. She's going to mirror. She's going to mirror the community that she came in. And most black women are taught to be independent, so they're not leaning towards the submissive side. Most white women are taught to be wives, and so they are more submissive in that sense. Like they do more of the. No, I'm serious. No. See, because black men are not taught to be husbands, so they don't even know what to look for when it talks about submission. They don't even know the cues. So yeah, like me, I've dated a little bit of everybody, and I'll tell you, in the white women world, yes, guess what? They cook dinner on a schedule, like normally. You sit down, they bring you a beer. You don't have to. No, you go. No. I'm being real. Like, no, it's always. Do you need? Can I? Are you hungry? I'll make you something. Like it's always that. You feel me?
Talk about that.
No, yes. Now couples argue. That's a part of relationships, and so those are inevitable. But it is a way that sometimes a black man feels treated in that area that where they don't get treated because in the other area because the black woman is so focused on being independent, she can't cater to you like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so, yes, you feel less of a man in those relationships because what people don't understand is a man is a highly emotional being too. And so there's a certain side of him that has to be catered to that a lot of times black women don't have time to cater to. And so that usually what causes that dynamic. So it's not saying that one's better than the other. My thing with this is with this, and I think that we kind of, off top with it, because the thing is that what one man is saying is it is preference. Right. You know what? If you like what you like, That's fine. For us to be telling, especially a child, you feel me, who hasn't even figured out life yet.
Who might not even like what I said.
No,
when we talked
yes,
about it,
exactly.
Like, he might even break up with her.
Yes,
in 2 weeks.
we don't even know.
More than likely,
like, for us to be,
he's about to go to college and ball out.
For us to be criticizing him is that one thing. And for Dr. Umar, my thing is for him.
Hey, don't talk about him.
For Dr. Umar, my thing about him is that nobody said your name. Right. Yet you just wanted to imply yourself because you felt it was a topic that people cared about, right? And so, and now look at what happened to you because you put yourself in a position to where now the tables have turned because you said all this mess, you feel me, about how we need to be. And the first thing people see, as soon as somebody's seeing you hee and ha ha with a white woman, they made you a meme. That's just what, that's what happened. They saw you kiki-kiing. And that's a Shannon Sharpe word. Kiki-kiing. They see you up there kiki-kiing. I hope Shannon talk about it tomorrow, Undisputed. I hope Skip say, you know what, you were trending. No. Sometimes Skip be like, you were trending. I'm going to let you talk about it. And Shannon to talk about it. I want to hear it.
Okay, listen.
I hope you do.
I think he wants that look.
Why would you fall? I told you this. Your mics hate me. So just a thought. It could be me. That's it in my, I don't know. Why wouldn't? But in my mind, I guess another reason why I think I prefer black men is like I think I want to date someone who can identify with.
Which is I said the culture.
Which is when you
again a preference of mine. I want it because like I said, they call cops. They do.
Which is not always true.
But
when the cop gets called by both of them, it's a different result.
Because black women call cops because my baby's mom called the cops on me before. Yeah. But I've been with a white woman who never even thought about dialing 911.
But the thing, if both of them called, what ended up happening?
Matter of fact,
you're still here.
Matter of fact, I told her I would call the sheriff to come get my stuff from her house. She got mad. She said, "You gonna call the police?" I'm like, and she wasn't. She white woman raised in Bellevue, so I'm not like you feel me.
In those situations, some white women or other races, not just white, they are more because they've seen what's happened.
Yes,
they're like recently,
especially recently.
They know it's different when they come for you than it is for them,
and they're even more their heightened sense of something. Like I was dating a woman, and I was late for the movies.
Of course.
And I was like, dang, I got stopped. I was like,
how long?
I was like 20 minutes.
Chill.
The movie, I was like, oh, I got stopped by the cops. Just.
Oh my God.
I got you.
I was playing.
Oh my gosh, Trey.
But I was playing.
Oh, okay.
And she freaked out, huh?
She freaked out.
She freaked out, and I was like, my bad. I was like, I didn't mean to do that, but I understood.
Did you roll with it though?
I would have rolled with it.
I would have rolled.
I would have rolled with it. If I was late, I would have rolled with it. If I was late, I'd have rolled with it.
Yeah, it was crazy. I started sweating a little bit. My body started crying.
But she was her heightened sense of awareness. What you were, I'm saying, what were you saying?
I think for me, I would rather be with someone who you understand the culture, you understand the struggle, you understand.
No, I agree. That's personal.
There's a level of there's a level of identity there that I can see.
And I think for women it's easier because you guys are looking for an addition. As even though we're looking for an addition, like you guys are so on that independent thing. We're on this journey just trying to find ourselves within that because we can't find ourselves with you guys in that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And so now we kind of look around to see what else is out there. And then you get that experience and then you say, yeah, a lot of people don't understand what it's like to be me. She may be the only one that understands what it's like to be me, but she don't got the time. You know what I'm saying? Because nowadays, think about us. I'm 37 years old. I'll be 38 this year. Most of the time, if I'm about to date, she's a single mother. You feel me? So she got kids. She has a job. You know what I'm saying? She has all these things to do. What I got going on, my needs emotionally and everything, she ain't got time for that. Most women are telling men, I ain't got time for you. I got all this other stuff I got to worry about.
And that's it. But again, that goes back. So now we talked about legacy. That now goes back to homes being complete because you just said they cook. It's like no, I do those things. I do those things because I got to see a wife. Because I got to see my mom play wife.
Definitely.
I know how to play a wife.
Yeah, it's a difference.
And so I was taught to play a wife. Even when I look at my friend Giselle and Angelica and some of my other friends who we won't name, they all were raised in two-parent homes. And so they all do those things for their husbands and for their boyfriends and all that stuff because, again, they got to see wives play wives. And so they understand how to be wives. And so when you say that, it's like, well, you guys are more taught to be independent. Well, we're taught to be independent because the homes have been so broken.
Yes.
No, 100%.
Yes.
It's a full circle.
Black
Yes.
father's missing. You know, that's
no, I'm not knocking that part. Yeah.
Black father's missing regardless of the color. That's because dads have been missing. Homes are becoming broken. They're not seeing that. They're not seeing their mothers being properly loved. They're not seeing their dads being proper dads in the homes. Not saying that they're bad dads because they might be active, but you being outside of the home does create a void. Yeah. No matter how active you are on the weekends,
it becomes a residual. This is the residual effect of that. Yeah.
And so it's just like no. So yes, we're busy and independent because of the lack of. And so I think it is important that not that we only date within ourselves. Like you said, there's so many different other things. Go do what you got to do to feel complete. Go be happy. But I'm to be lying if I'd say I wish that we would continue to. Let's create that. You know what I'm saying? Let's create Black love.
Community, because like I said, I think you naturally come towards yourself. But the thing I wanted to talk about specifically was I will be on Facebook dating sometimes, and I don't think anybody ever really considers this, but the amount of Caucasian women that you see that are competing and vying, because we act like it's 50% black and 50% white. There's a lot of Caucasian women.
Especially here, we live in Washington.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, but like they go all over. Like I've been to 40 states, and when you go in, you see
because all these black women still in bad relationships. They don't get out of them.
Well, no, but not just that. But it's like, but the level of competition.
I'm being real.
There's that. No, there's that. But I'm saying, but the level of competition is kind of crazy for white women as well too. I'm not trying to.
Because they know we're for the taking.
Yo,
because
and so the competition. They're like, we're fighting.
No, they know we're for the take. They know we're for the take. I'll tell you like this.
I didn't realize it until I started going through some of these apps.
When I'm going through them, this is how I know they're competing. When you start seeing BLM and all this extra stuff, it's like, oh girl, oh you trying hard, you trying hard. What does that make? That does not change your life experience.
They are out here competing because they know that if I got to and I tell people this all the time. I'm like, I'm Cameron. I'm the nicest dude ever. If I'm seeing a young lady with 2 kids, you gotta come with it. She's competing with every white girl out there. She's competing with every girl out there, trying to make sure. Because I got 2 kids. Because what happens to black first? It happens to us first, but then it happens to the rest of the country. It's what it happens. So we get independent, then it happens to the other cultures, communities in America because we're capitalistic. So ultimately, the dollar rules. Yeah. So it's like, they're seeing this stuff happen, and they're like, dang, I'm competing against Kimmy, Cindy, all this other kind of stuff on top of Shorty over here, and he kind of likes her because she got a fat butt. Yeah. So what I gotta. So
but Kimmy like coffee dates and walks in the park.
Yeah.
And guess what? And guess what? And guess what? No. Kimmy do. But Tanisha, she needs to go to. She don't. Oh, I don't do drinks at Applebee's, or I don't go to. I don't go to.
So competition, like I didn't realize it until later. But I'm like, why do they? Because even though independent ones, I just say leave it as this. There was a person that I knew who was raised in our community, but she still acted a little bit differently. And I remember I had a conversation with her, and she's like, just keeping it a buck because I'm talking with you, Cameron. She's like, when you come from where I come from, the competition is so steep that we gotta be that wife, that girlfriend, that ride or die or something like that. When, like I said, some black women, they've always independent. They're not even thinking about you. Like, I'm gonna get some ding ding from you. I gotta go work 3 jobs. I got all that kind of stuff is like. I'm not even thinking about the future because I'm just trying to survive.
Well,
and sometimes that happens. Sometimes
I will tell them because we were talking about bad relationships. And when you talk about bad relationships, those women are the women who are invested into a man's emotions and his needs and all that. It's just the wrong man, and they've put so much time into it. They've been devalued so much. They don't really think that they can put themselves back out there and be successful.
I'll give that,
You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of women stay in bad relationships. So that's why when you hit the dating scene, you see a lot more white women out there than you see black women because they're really still chasing because I'll tell you like this. Guys like me and you, and I'll be real. Yeah. When women see us, they don't see a defender. They don't see a protector.
No, they don't.
No, they don't think that, which is stupid.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious to me.
Yeah,
no, for real. Yeah. But it's dumb. But they think that somebody who really put their life on the line and probably, disappear from your life is more of a protector.
Stop playing.
But I think also part of
Archbishop.
Part of the
Suffragan bishop.
Part of the part of the situation goes is that yes, there's a lot of competition. Sources are rare, but at the same time, sometimes when you're dating, some people, as black women, will stay single longer because they're like, I can't afford to get into something
I can afford.
I can afford, but
can't.
But you're starting to see also
most of them already have kids and they've been invested in bad relationships. Let's be real.
True, but also you see a lot more white women starting to say the same thing. They're starting to be like, look, I can't afford these relationships. It's a bad check. I've been cashing too many of them, trying to save people.
Because they've been dealing with the same thing the black women been doing.
Like I said, it happens. It eventually happens to them.
They hopped in the game and thought they was gonna change it. It was like, no, it's the same
nah,
niggas over
bro.
here, you know what I'm
This
saying?
dollar rule the game player.
Same niggas over here. They didn't change.
And then when they come to that point, because I see a lot of people are like, people just aren't good and all these things, and it's like, yes,
in every race, nobody's
that's
it's getting bad for everybody.
There's a lot of stuff that is that's culturally expands all culture.
Nowadays,
it's like,
definitely.
It's like, hey, there's a lot more trash guys out here for every type of woman.
Yo, chill. It's a crazy statement though.
No, but women like trash guys because what trash guys come with. Because usually the trash guy got the nice car and the trash guy's buying bottles at the bar. No, seriously, no. Trash guys are buying bottles at the bar. Trash guys they got the nice clothes because they're doing everything to attract the plethora of women so they can have the different options, right? Yeah. And so that's the game that they're playing in. And women put themselves.
Women are horrible at seeing red flags too. I just wanted to say that. I just want to throw that out. Just that, yeah, they're horrible. They say red flags all the time because they can't see them. Sorry,
they only see the red flags when you ain't got money. When you got money, they don't see.
They can't see red flags
because you got green dollars, and so they don't see red flags.
What's that? Red blockers.
Really
What, okay, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Really
What?
funny, actually.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah.
And
That's
I want everybody.
You put up with a lot more when you try to pay out.
I want everybody to answer.
Okay. Yeah.
What does a red flag consist of, and does it have to?
Doesn't matter if you can't see it. Sorry.
Yeah. Is it more a red light than a red flag? Is it more of a red light or more red light than a red flag? Like because there's some red flags that are temporary.
I agree.
And there are some red flags that are permanent. What for you is a red flag that it has to change, or else, like, if it changes, then it's good for you. Then it keeps you.
I don't believe in the red flag, green flag thing. I think it's stupid.
I understand the connotation, so I'll answer the question. So
I guess
I'll answer it. I think it's stupid.
red flags that don't pass. I probably too many kids.
What's a red flag that could turn green?
A red flag that can turn green, or anything. I feel like any red flag can be turned green with enough effort if someone is intentional. And I think that all goes back to the person who you're dealing with. If someone is intentional about handling their traumas, if someone's intentional about making sure that their baby's mom situation is in control, doable.
So if a dude got 17 kids, 10 babies,
now, that's not an Amber thing.
No, I'm just saying we actually know. You said
he's not even on the road.
They can't even.
He's not even in traffic school. What is that? He said that's. I don't.
Cut the sentence off right there.
So that's not even a red. What do you call that?
Listen. So
that's a deletion.
And not trying to be hypocrite. No, I do have a kid, but me and my daughter's father get along great, and my dynamic is cool. So if you come to me with 17, ain't no way you got all.
What is that called? Like a septo dad or something?
I don't even know what the name. Yo, I'm a smart dude. And I don't even know what that. That's past my pay grade.
Have you ever encountered someone who didn't want to date you because you had a kid?
Oh yeah, and I took it for what it was because I understand that. Dating single mothers it can be difficult with our time, with our attention, whatever the case, or not even just wanting to be. I'm not ready to be a father. Okay, cool. Then go about your way. It didn't even hurt my feelings because I understand preference, huh?
Did they have a kid?
No.
Okay.
And so knowing that they didn't have children and they weren't ready to play stepdad, I was cool. And they didn't feel like dealing with her, which is funny because me and her dad don't even deal with each other like that. For like our relationship is it's cool, like it's under control. We talk to each other when we have to. We don't when we don't. She goes, she does her thing. But he didn't feel like, well, I don't want to deal with no baby daddy drama. Ain't no baby daddy drama. Me and my daughter's father get along fine. Well, I don't feel like being a stepdad. Well, then don't. That's okay. And I wasn't mad. Everybody has a preference. You don't got kids.
He probably just has trauma in that area.
Right, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like I guess that's why it didn't bother me. And I know a lot of people get upset by it, but I'm just like, if that's their preference, that's their preference.
I think for the women's side, that's what it is, because I think one, it's you don't the baby's dad is always a wild card. And no, it is. It's all, you never know. The baby dad's always a wild card.
What's more of a wild card, baby dad or baby mom?
Shit, either one. You know what I'm saying? Baby's mamas and baby's daddies are both. You think baby daddies ain't crazy? Baby daddies is crazy too. I don't have bar tussles with some.
There's a lot less variable in them because dudes don't tend to be like.
No.
I believe. No. Like I said, they'll have the same problems, but my thing is like, but I've noticed that every time when I've encountered, because I did a lot of nonprofit
women are a lot
work,
more vindictive with it,
and that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like I'll take I'll hit you with the court system and maybe with some violence. Yeah. Like the baby's dad will be kind of like, if you come to him like, listen, Playboy, I'm treating your son right, and if I'm taking care of his son, that means that I'm watching out for you. Yeah. So if we had a heart-to-heart conversation, it'll be a little bit different.
It usually has to get to that, but usually a baby's dad is so possessive of his baby's mom, he's mad that somebody's even there.
That's bombing her, but at the same time,
it's like more babies' moms are more vindictive than
baby's dads. So that's why I'm saying, like, I wouldn't be as worried.
Because a man's more times than not, because we compartmentalize differently. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're able to talk ourselves off the ledge when, women usually go off of emotions. So she
might be kicking it there for 10 years.
Yes. You know what I'm saying?
But sometimes it's turned where theirs might be more outward, ours might be more inward.
Yeah.
Because I can see that. Because I can see, I've dated some women who the guy I didn't have problems with. Right. But he had
problems with you.
Yeah, he had problems with me.
Yeah. And but he never showed it like that.
He never showed it.
I've had a bunch of those.
Versus I've heard the woman had problems and she vocalized it. She showed it. Yep. Yeah.
Because men don't tend to.
I dated a chick and her baby dad did a 10-year prison stint, and he came out, and as soon as he came out, I met him. You know what I'm saying? I'm never scared of nobody, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I go up, I feel like you shake my hand kind of soft anyway. Rest in peace to you, Target. You know what I'm saying? I felt like you shook my hand kind of soft anyway, so I was kind of worried about him on the first team. But, I was cool. We was actually at his son's football game. We talked or whatever. Whoop. I played the cool guy. Afterwards, he must have didn't know how, because he was from Seattle. He must have didn't know. He heard I was from California. He didn't think I knew people like that in Seattle. So he talking to the back chatter. Whoop. Oh, this dude Marvin with my baby's mom. Yeah, I don't really like him. So, but whenever he was around me, never got that vibe. Just so happened, somebody was like, hey, man, I ran into such and such, and they were telling me this. What's the deal? And I was like, he ain't never said nothing to me. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't got a problem if you ain't said nothing to me.
Oh, because we can get him out. Oh, but you know what I'm saying? This is what it was. But, I mean, but you're right. Men internalize it differently.
Meanwhile,
you know what I'm saying?
Want to slash cars and have an attitude, and she can't touch my kid, and I'm taking out her hair, and we can't.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it hard for you to see your kid, so therefore now I'm going to, and then call you a deadbeat because, like, I don't want to deal with all the legal that you made it difficult.
I can't.
Yeah.
I guess
but I think
in my heart I didn't want to be that.
But I think women don't. I think women don't date men with kids, not necessarily just because of the baby's mom thing. But I do think that women women without kids like the freedom of not having kids.
Yep.
And they don't. And they don't never want to be in a situation where you're like, hey. You know what? I got my son this weekend. I can't do it because they want to go when they want to go, and they don't want to be stopped. And so it's like when you have a kid, you are almost like hindering their adventures, the adventurous side of them.
Question.
Okay, yeah. Do your question, and then I'll tell you my red flag, kind of, and it's changeable.
We didn't finish it.
Yeah.
But no, I think most red flags can be turned into green.
No, not most of them.
17 kids ain't it?
Is it?
But that's not one of the red flags that can switch.
Question: Is it hypocritical?
Yeah.
If the person doesn't want to date someone with kids and they have kids?
No. It depends. No, to me, and I'll say why. I think that...
Yes.
I mean, you could say yes. My thing is this, is that I don't want to date someone who had kids because if I'm dating heterosexually, I might know that the dynamics are different on one side versus the other. Me having a kid, and let's say if I wanted to date a woman with no kids, the only reason I'm dating that, because I want to have at least one more kid, maybe two. By the time a woman has 2 kids already, she's not trying to have any more kids after that. So I might want to date a woman with low kid count, but 2 or under, because I'm just saying.
Well, but he's saying
for that,
no kids though.
Either what I'm saying is like either no, but I'm saying like I would take someone that wanted kids, but we both know that more times than not, if you already had a kid or 2, you're done because how expensive things are. So it's like you don't want to deal with like raising the kid and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of times with me, it's very specific that I might want to deal with somebody preferably who either has no kids or
the kids are done.
Or she has or she was willing to have kids with me. So it's not no kids per se. But I'm just saying like I would look at that and kind of be like, I wonder how she feels about this. It wouldn't be a red flag per se. It would be something else.
Now the reason I say yes.
That is super critical.
Well, that is super critical is because, one, becoming a parent is a life in its own. And sometimes people who don't have kids don't understand that. Yeah. It's almost like dating out of your race. You know what I'm saying? And so there becomes these things that become disagreeable, and sometimes because they don't understand the importance of your children or to you as a parent, sometimes they're more likely to do things that are maybe out of the realms that you set for your children, especially if you like in that situation you're more likely going to leave them in the care of your children or whatever. I believe that somebody who already has children is seasoned in the parent area to where you guys can meet at that situation. At the same time, when you talk about expenses, right? They're already taking care of their own children. If you're already taking care of your own children, it doesn't necessarily enhance anything. It just marries it together from my point of view. And so
and I agree with you. What I've noticed just as I've been dating over the last 2 years or something like that is that people sometimes have kids and maintain kids but don't raise kids. And so that's kind of where I started looking a little bit differently at how I started, so it wasn't a red flag. So I was just adding
but I'm saying regardless on that, that's a person problem, right? But I mean, usually the parent trigger doesn't hit until you either become pregnant or for men when we see that child come out, right? And so when you haven't been a part of that process, it's harder to think of things from a parent's point of view. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand why they do certain things, and that creates a different dynamic for the relationship and a lot of times tension. And I don't think that you should do anything that can create tension in a relationship. Now, can it be possible? Yes, there are people out there that don't have kids that are very great with children and they can win you over and you can create a life with them. So I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I'm saying that it's more, I say that it's, I think that it becomes more natural when it's more understandable from both aspects.
I agree with that.
Both aspects, and I don't think that caps off being able to have children. Like, I do think now if you got hella kids and stuff like that and you want to be the like Brady Bunch, yeah, maybe you don't produce any more children. But if each of you guys have 1 or maybe 2 or whatever, and whatever the dynamic be, and you got a lot of times people come together and they want to share children together, even though they had one on the outside of it because they feel like the relationship that they have now is stronger than the previous.
And so this is where my red flag comes in, because that's actually a good thing. Is that so? With that, my red flag is that if you don't have a well-developed community, aka the ability to nurture different types of relationships, that's a big red flag for me. If you don't have friends, you don't have people that can mentor you, people you can talk to about difficult decisions and things in your life, like if you don't have a community, I used to think that wasn't a big deal, but it's a huge deal.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until this year.
Well, let me tell you something. Then, because and that's not completely fair. Because I'll tell you from my point of view, I'm from here. I don't really have that because I don't know nobody here. I wasn't raised here. Yeah. I don't have a network like that. No. So people would look at me and they would say, obviously, he doesn't have what most people have here. He doesn't have that type of
somewhere.
No, but it doesn't. Somewhere. But they're not. It's not here. So there's no evidence. No. It's no evidence of it.
I'm telling you, for my red flag, that you still. If I go, you talk about you go to church. You have family that you.
I barely talk to I barely talk to people. The people that I call family, Or not?
We're okay.
Barely. I mean, if you think about it.
But let me. Okay, I'm gonna break this down because this is what I do. So what I'm saying is this: is that I'm saying this. So I'll just use I'll use my exes because I've had a couple exes, and this is the thing. I call myself the patron saint of single black women, and so I've came in contact, and I just wonder, I'm like, why do you guys always gravitate to me? And I didn't really realize because I'm just scared. We just be chilling, right? And I'm like, but you guys always gravitate to me, and then you guys will start like really attaching yourself. But then I look around and I'm like, when we go through, let's say if we went through something together, there's literally nobody that you have that you can go and call on. In this room right now, if you wanted to call me, come on up, you can call me. We don't talk about. You have Trey, you have Amber, you have other. What I'm saying is that let's say if you move somewhere, I'm not talking about, but your ability to do that. I know people who've lived here all their lives, women, and don't have anybody who they've built in enough meaningful relationship with. And to me, I'm like,
or maybe they don't believe that because you
don't believe what?
No, time out. Listen to what you just said to me,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And what did I say to you?
I don't really talk to them like that.
No. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Before you said what you said, what did I say to you?
If I just got here?
No, I have no community.
You have no community.
And you turned around and told me you do.
Yeah.
Right? So what I'm trying to tell you is there's people who because of where they come from and how they may have what you think that they don't have, they just don't realize it.
But that
and so
it can change. That's why I said it's a red flag, then go for a green flag. Is because I had to, and I'll just use because if you're self-aware enough, then you start realizing. Because this is what I did. I brought my ex-wife, and I said, regardless of what our situation would be, before she was my ex-wife, I want you to always feel an attachment to all the people that I've ever brought you around because they are your community. You're the mother of my son, and on top of that, I want you to win as a black woman, and so. You have this community. If you can't talk to nobody else, you can talk to them. And they're going to give you an unbiased review so that you can do that because I have to, in the multitude of counsel, there's safety. It says that in the word. And so when I do that, they may not realize that they have that, but you need to start realizing that because I'm left with my own thoughts constantly. And you know how bad it can be when you're left with your own thoughts and like you're overthinking something and you're like, and you could be loud and wrong.
You're presenting that to somebody. If that's not presented to somebody.
No, but I'm saying it's like.
They have no idea.
No, but I'm saying.
I hear what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. It's a red flag for me that can turn green, but my thing is saying like I can lead you to the water, but if you ain't drinking that, then I can't really keep around you because I know every time that we encounter something, you're thinking at your own brain as emotional as it can get, and then what happens here is that we never resolve that problem. Yeah. And so now I can no longer be in relationship with you because you are thinking out your own brain.
But what I'm trying to help you understand is that there's a population of people.
There's a lot more than a population.
No, hear me out.
Huge amount of
no,
people.
I'm saying there's a population of people. Yeah. Me included.
Yeah.
I was an adopted kid.
Yeah.
I get to an adopted family.
Yeah.
I lived most of my life there.
Yeah.
I grow up.
Yeah.
They don't talk to me.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I didn't have a biological family.
Yeah.
I was raised by pretty much strangers.
Yeah.
Once they figured their job was done, that was it.
Yeah.
You feel me? And so now everywhere I go, I don't cherish the extent of relationships because the people who were supposed to nourish that don't. And so yes, you don't. So you have a population of people out there that even though they may be able to call you, Cameron, and say, "Hey, I'm in a bind," because of the type of relationships that the way that people have nurtured relationships.
Yeah, I understand why it is.
So that's what I'm saying.
It's so
but I'm saying is that I don't think that can. Well, I hear why it can be a red flag for you, and I get that. I respect that. But in my era, I can't see that being a red flag because that does not always equate to the genuinity of that person.
Oh no, I don't think it does.
And so that's why
I don't think it does.
So I
know that work has to be done, but I know that after a certain point, if we
consider those red flags, you continue to push those people in those boxes. I'm just saying.
Oh no,
for myself,
I don't push people in boxes. That's why we said these can be turned green.
I'm not. You don't. You continue to push. These people already have put themselves in a box. Yeah. No matter what you say, ain't gonna change that. So when you do that, it continues to pushes them deeper down in their own box to where now they have less and less. Like you guys always hear me talk about the less and less value I have for relationships.
Yeah, no,
and it's because of that. It's because when people look at me, they look at it and they say, you know what, the way the relationships work with him. Why hasn't he been in the same place for so long? Why doesn't he have family like that? Like people, and so they say, red flag, red flag, red flag. Instead of not saying that, you know what, not looking at. It was a lot of shit people on my way to here.
Yeah, but
you
why, you see that question, you said why? Because, like I said, I want to see people win. So when I entered into the relationship, because like I said, I didn't know all this because I'm just Cameron. I'm just living life. I'm happy to be here, whatever.
I mean, your best friend told you,
yeah,
but it's fine.
yeah. No, but mind you, I've been in how many relationships?
We're gonna have to cut that out.
No, you can keep it in. That's cool. No, but it was like, to me, life is pretty simple because I operate on logic a lot of times. So if something don't make sense, it just don't make sense. So then when it's like, when I come and I see this as an issue, like you said, I started realizing like, yo, people's lives weren't built. First of all, your brain ain't built like my brain is built, and then your life wasn't built like that. So I understand why you're there, which is why I introduced you to those people, which is why I said, why is that? I understood why. Then I introduced you to people, and I try to continue to help you to nurture. I remember, and I'll just end the story here.
Most people just don't do that. Yeah.
But so I'll end the story here. I remember I used to go to dinner with my ex-wife and the family, and I remember like, they would go there on Sunday, but nobody would talk to each other. And so let's say they canceled the dinner on the next Sunday. They didn't see each other in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You literally wouldn't talk to anybody. And she's like, something. She was saying something. I said, you know what I think is weird? I think it's weird how you guys come over to your dad's house and you praise this man for being your dad, and this is come together soul food moment, but you guys don't have a real relationship.
No intimacy.
There's no intimacy there.
Yeah.
And I remember after I said that, whether she would admit it or not, I think it kind of clicked in her. It was like, yeah, that is kind of weird because I kick it with my family like because I value it. I find people who ain't my family, call them mom and dad, and we form relationships. Yeah. But it's like, so
That's
I think you said what?
That's usually me.
Oh no, this is what that's what I said. We're kindred
me.
spirits in that. Yeah. And so what happens was like, once I did that for you, and she started like calling and talking to those people, you started re-engaging with those people who you thought you didn't have because you never really thought about it as that, and you started going there and embracing that. Maybe not to the level that you probably should, because I think you could find a lot of growth if you did more of that. But it's like, at least it was a starting point for you to go forward. So that's why I said it's a red flag that could turn green, because other relationships that I've been in, that was the same thing. They came to me because I was so inviting and stuff like that. But when conflict came, they didn't have any other resource outside of me, the person they're in conflict with.
Yeah, I can see how you could turn in green. I just don't think that most people operate like that.
You're right.
So usually that becomes a red flag that never changes green, because people see it and then they just go no further.
So that's why
you've seen it and said, there's a way to fix this.
And that's why I always try. And that's why I didn't think I'm cool.
Not all things. Not all red flags can be turned, but with enough intention and enough reflection, and with enough a person is forward and can see, I have an issue here. I have an issue with conflict. I do need to learn this. Or if someone can see I have an issue with finances, I need to go reach out to someone. If you're reflective enough, most red flags can be turned green.
Exactly.
Just because you sat with yourself long enough to know, I do need a community. Or I do need to work on my finances. I do need to do whatever the red flag was. With enough self-reflection and with enough work, and I said, and enough people around you, most red flags can be turned.
Even the 17 kids, once they get old enough, I'm just messing with
you. But I honestly think the only time, and this is my personal, my point of view. I think the only time you should really have a red flag is if no, that's one thing. But no, if you have a weakness and that person's weakness is the same exact thing,
all bad. Yeah,
that should be a red flag. That's the only way I think we should equate red flags and green flags, because one thing we know is that we're all dealing with imperfect people. So everybody is going to have these areas in their lives that we don't like, right? The thing is when two people, that's why the reason they say opposites attract is usually because where I'm strong at, you're probably weak at, and when we come together, we complement each other. And so I think that's what we should be.
Both addicts, it's gonna be kind of hard.
Definitely. And so I should be like that. We should be looking at red flags like, oh my God, I'm bad with finances. You bad with finances? Red flag. I can't be with you. Right? No, seriously.
No. This is a very good point.
Exactly.
Very good point.
You know,
that's true.
You know, you're a gluttonous. I'm a gluttonous. Oh, I can't be with you. No. Because what I learned today, glutton is just not just about what you eat.
No.
Yes.
That mindset of
it's a mindset of poverty.
Yeah.
It's a poverty mindset. So that's what I'm saying. It could just, so I mean, I think we should be looking at those as the red flags, and green flags are saying, hey, this is where I'm weak at. You strong here. You know what I'm saying? And like that's how we should be looking at relationships. We're red flagging and green flagging pretty much off of what celebrities do. That's pretty much what it is.
Stupid,
we're looking at celebrity relationships and saying, oh, this is how they operate, and they're still together. Oh, so this is, if you're not doing this, I don't want it, and you ain't doing this, I don't want it. Well, guess what? what? You trying to have somebody else's relationship, you ain't gonna do nothing but fail.
Yeah,
that
Alicia Keys song, it sounded really good, but as far as it didn't last too long.
What was your
Unbreakable.
I don't even remember but we can get out of here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to Black Pew Podcast.
Good job, y'all, today.
We'll see y'all next week. More movie reviews. What are we watching next week?
Damn, we started at 5:30 and we ended at 7:26. What's going on? Say that. Look at God.
What movie y'all want to do? A comedy?
I don't care.
Comedy's good.
Can I choose a comedy?
Go ahead.
Depends on the comedy.
Can you choose something that I ain't gotta pay something extra to
No,
watch?
it's on Prime. You good?
Go ahead. What movie?
Because you paid for this one.
Buffed Up.
No, we're not watching Buffed Up.
What's that?
Nor
Buffed
does it
Up,
matter.
please.
You talking about the sunglass movie?
Yes.
Nah, let's do something else.
211.
Pick another one.
Please pick another movie, Cameron.
We just did.
You guys are the worst.
Pick another one.
He been waiting for that moment.
Look, I'm not watching that again. I'm not.
Okay.
You actually create dialogue.
I want someone with a black
waiting.
man, a black strong leader.
Hold on. Why we save that for just another day? Like,
Man,
hold it. Just hold it. I know how bad you want that. Like, let's do it. We'll do it. So I know how bad you want that, so we're going to do
Something
it.
that
But
can create dialogue and thought.
There is. We can talk about the Detroit metropolitan area and how
about we do?
how about Oscar, what's it, with Fruitvale Station?
Man, it's more.
I've never seen that one.
You haven't seen any of these.
First of all, shut up. Nobody asked you.
It hasn't. Like, she hasn't.
And I wanted to say something else.
What are we gonna do?
Because
Notebook?
somebody else tried to reinforce her. Oh, that just means she's doing something better with her time. What?
No, I didn't. Actually, I just didn't watch it.
No, I'm just saying. Well, I didn't want to say no. I didn't say anything.
We're gonna have to take this out of black movies,
but I was like, when I seen that, I was like,
something like that.
okay.
27 dresses.
Yeah, I know.
27 dresses.
Not
Yes.
a black
What's a
movie.
good black movie?
I'm just saying something you've seen.
I've never seen it, to be honest. Trash.
Let's do Detroit.
What's in Detroit? 8 Mile? Hat. Joking.
No, that is Detroit.
We could do Detroit. That actually had
That's
some
the name of the
interesting
movie?
scenes. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was the name of the movie. Okay.
What's your homeboy's name? Mackie.
Oh, Anthony Mackie. I like him.
Actually, I like that one. That's actually a good one. That would be cool
called
because
Detroit?
I like the background of the story. Like people don't realize what it is.
Let's do it.
Let's do Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit.
Dang.
We'll see y'all next week.
What's it
Peace.
on?
Come back.
Wait, did we do Boomerang before?
No.